Books. We all have seen them, we all use them, some more than others, but I'm not here to judge. When people ask me what my favorite book is, I have a rather unconventional answer. Being an English major and having many books in my collection, one would think that my favorite would be a classic, such as Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, or maybe even one of the 7 Harry Potter books. True, I love both of these choices and more than likely can quote literal paragraphs of the books without batting an eye. However, neither of these are my favorite book. First of all, the word favorite holds 2 definitions for me. As an academic, the book that is given the title of favorite would be the book that I value over the rest of the various ones in my collection. On an emotional level, my favorite book is the one that holds the most memories and evokes the most, emotions. That being said, my favorite book isn't a famous novel or a childhood nostalgic classic. It is a little book, a little blue book, my autograph book. Specifically, a Disney autograph book. This was the first autograph book I ever owned on one of the first Disney trips I can physically remember. I'm next, I think to myself. I am bouncing in my pink sneakers, too eager to sit still. My tie-dye dress sways subtly with the movement. In my hands, I tightly clutch my brand new autograph book with a matching Mickey pen. Every page is blank, but not for long. Through the people in front of me's legs, I can see him, dressed in his black suit jacket, long red pants, and yellow bow tie. Mickey Mouse! I'm so excited! Today is my birthday. I am now 7 whole years old. A big girl who isn't scared of meeting characters anymore. I'm glad I grew out of it. Being scared is for babies. Finally, it's my turn. The tall man, who I think is Mickey's babysitter, unhooks the velvet rope and lets me and Mommy and Daddy in. Mommy has my little sister Emily in her arms. She's younger than me, so she needs to be held. Not me, though. I walk right up to Mickey, and then the strangest thing happened. I couldn't think of a single thing to say. I just stood there, with my mouth open, gawking at him. Well, this is awkward. Then Mickey kneels down to my level and wiggles his nose in my face. That did the trick. I giggled and enveloped Mickey in a huge hug. His arms wrapped around me tight, like he was trying to squeeze the air out of me. After we broke from the hug, he stood up to say hi to my sister, who was napping on my mommy's shoulder. He wiggled his finger at her, then kissed her head. When he turned back towards me, he seemed to notice the pink birthday girl pin I had on my chest. He pointed at it excitedly. I proudly stated, "It's my birthday today!" Mickey really seemed to like that and clapped his white-gloved hands together happily. I then proudly presented my book to him, along with the pen. He took it and knelt down to my level again. He pointed to the Mickey pen, then pointed at himself, shook his head from side to side as if he was laughing, and then he patted me on the head. He flipped open the book and then started to sign it. However, he seemed to be having trouble. He shook the pen and dabbed at the paper, something I'd seen Daddy do whenever our pens from home were not writing. But how could my pen be not working? I just got it! Mickey gestured over his babysitter and showed the pen to him. The babysitter sighed and I heard him say, "Dead pen, huh?" Mickey nodded. Then I heard my daddy speak up. "We just bought it from the store an hour ago." I didn't hear the rest of the conversation. I was considering the possibility of never getting Mickey to sign my book. I felt my bottom lip begin to quiver. Mickey seemed to have noticed and gestured again to his babysitter and pointed at his belt. I didn't know what he was doing, but I was now too fascinated by the exchange that I forgot about being sad. The babysitter must have known what Mickey meant, as he then proceeded to rummage around in his bag. Mickey turned back to me and patted me on the shoulder and wiggled his nose again to get me to giggle. It worked. The babysitter then handed Mickey something red and small. It was a marker. I got excited and started bouncing again. Mickey opened my book and then proudly started to sign his name in the red marker. I heard the babysitter telling my daddy, "Go talk to the store and explain it wasn't working. They'll be able to give you one that does." My daddy didn't sound convinced. How will they know that we aren't just making it up? Mickey tapped the end of the marker against his cheek as if he was thinking, and then seemed to have an idea. On the left-hand orange page, next to his signature, he began to write. The babysitter noticed and said, "What you writing there, boss?" After Mickey was finished, he showed the babysitter what he had written, and the man smiled. He turned to my daddy and said, "The boss left a special message for them. The new pen is going to be on the mouse." Now I was curious. What exactly did Mickey write? but I was unable to see because Mickey stood up then and handed the broken pen in my book back to my daddy. Then he held out his arms wide. I guess it meant it was time for a picture. My daddy handed the camera to the babysitter, and my eyes blinked at the flash as they always did. I turned and gave Mickey a hug goodbye. Being as short as I am, I was only able to reach the bottom of his waist if I stood on my tippy toes. Mickey patted my back, and as I was walking away, I turned back and he was waving. I waved back excitedly as me and Mommy and Daddy and Emily left his house. Once we got outside and me and Emily were back in our double stroller, I turned to Daddy and said, "Daddy, can I see my book?" Daddy smiled and gave it to me. I eagerly flipped open the flap and looked at the opposite side of the page where Mickey's special message was. In big red letters were the words, "Exchange the pen." Now I know what you're thinking. Why would I choose this insignificant little book to be my favorite book that I own? Because for me, it is much more than just a book. It is a symbol of both the innocence of my childhood and also my first exposure of Disney's real magic at work. That little memory becomes more and more significant as time goes on. Now it serves as a reminder of an ultimate goal, to one day work for the Disney Corporation and make some magic of my own.